serious problem. I'm not defensive about it. Come on!
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live stream. Big yourselves up, guys. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. Get involved in the chat. Plenty to dive into today's show, guys. The race for Champions League football, an update on the Mykhailo Mudryk situation, and Filip Jorgensen could be joining Strasbourg on loan, whilst it's not been fully ruled out that Petrovic could remain at the French club if they get Champions League football. So, yeah, lots to dive into, guys. But let's say hello to a few people, and then we're going to get this show on the road. Is he innocent? Bro, that is the big question, the £1 million question. We're going to dive into it. I had to laugh. All you need to do with Mudryk is look where he trains athletics, who's around him, and how easy his supplements can be steroids. I mean, look, I don't subscribe to that trail of thought at all. But if that's your opinion, no problem. I don't see Chelsea getting Champions League football. Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, let's start with that Mudryk stuff then, because we had an exclusive from Ben Jacobs with the Shakhtar Donetsk CEO, Sergei Palkin. Obviously knows Mudryk very well, and they've done an interview. And Sergei Palkin on the Mudryk doping case. I've spoken to Mudryk many times since this doping issue arose. He doesn't understand how it could have happened. He has no clue, no idea at all. So his lawyers organised for him to take a lie detector test, which he passed. It will form part of the evidence showing he didn't intentionally do anything wrong. Mudryk has been clear. It's not his fault that he tested positive. We now need to find out how this has happened and who did this. His lawyers are trying to find out. There are still no results from the B sample, so that remains open. Nobody knows what's happened. I wish Mudryk all the best. He's a top professional and a very good person. He should be protected. So this is the first major update we've had. Yes, Igal, big up, my brother. Hope you're doing well, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for the raid, bro. Appreciate you. And yeah, bro, we'll definitely let's do something soon. But the reality is, guys, is that something here doesn't make sense. Now, I'll get people saying, oh, Charlie, you're biased because this is Mudryk and it's a Chelsea player, or if this was an Arsenal player, or if this was a Man United player, you wouldn't be saying the same thing. You'd be saying, throw the book at him, this and that, this and that. I'm like, let's strip this back. Okay. This is a young professional who's worked very hard to get to this position where he's in now. This is someone whose parents still live in Ukraine, whose family live in Ukraine with the war ongoing. You know, it's not been easy for him. This is someone who prides himself on hard work to get to the top. And I'm going to stick by him and I'm going to stand by him. Yes, because it's a Chelsea player. Of course, there's probably going to be some bias. I'm not denying that. But when you look at the facts and you look at what's going on right now, you cannot come to any other conclusion, in my opinion, that something dodgy is going on here. Something dodgy is going on right now. Yeah, no, brother, I hear you. I as soon as that January window closed, I was like, yep, top 5 is done. Finished. But let's see what happens. We could pull a madness out of the bag. But as long as Arsenal don't win the Champions League, I'll be very happy, very happy. But something's not making sense here, guys. Now, we can talk all day about conspiracy theories, this or that. But I genuinely think there is some sort of sabotage at play here, or some sort of stitch up. But chat, let me know what you're thinking as well, chat. Let me know what you're thinking on this one. Do you think Mudryk's been set up? Do you think there's more at play here? Do you think that he's just covering for himself, and this is what everyone says when they fail a doping test? Oh, you know, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do that. Yes, he was dating, I think, a Russian model, and now obviously they're no longer together anymore. I don't know when and where, what happened, or how that coincided with timings and whatnot of the current situation. But you look at it, and the whole thing's just been surrounded by secrecy. The whole thing's been surrounded by secrecy. There's been very little updates from Chelsea and the club. Well, there's been literally nothing from Chelsea since that original news broke. We had the Mudryk statement, and then there's been absolutely nothing. There was an update from Ben Jacobs in January saying that Chelsea were expecting the B sample back by the end of January. We're now coming up to the end of April, and there's nothing whatsoever. And this was a test that was taken in October. So this was taken at the October international break, okay, whilst with Ukraine. It then took until December to get those findings. That took 2 months to come out. Now we are nearly 5 months down the line, and there's no B sample. The B sample comes from the original sample, if I'm not mistaken. So where is it? Where is the B sample? You know, it's like a who shot Phil. Where's the B sample? Who's got it? Where is it? And can anybody tell me what's going on here? Because I get it, this is a complex legal proceedings, and you know, there's not going to be constant updates in public about this. You know, there'll be an update when there's when something's ready to be said. But for the life of me, I don't understand what's going on here, and I think he's done. I personally feel he's been done dirty. I think he's been done dirty. You know, really weird that B sample hasn't even been done yet. I understand that they cannot legally. No, I think they can say the results. You know, look, I suspect the B sample is back. I suspect the B sample is back, but they are going through the legal process, going through all the relevant stuff with the governing bodies, and then from there, once they've gone through all the processes, then they will say something. I don't know if it's in their best interests, for whatever reasons, to announce the B sample result whilst legal proceedings are still ongoing. I wonder if they're going down every single avenue possible before announcing the B sample results. I'm not sure. But then there's something else on a Ukrainian. This is from this is something from a very well-known Ukrainian journalist. I think he was one of the people who was behind the original news, and this was posted a couple weeks ago, but I missed it. So this guy here, what's his name? Igor Saiginak. I've absolutely butchered that. Pathetic, embarrassing pronunciation from me. But anyway, he's a well-known Ukrainian football journalist. He's got a YouTube channel. He's pretty well connected. He's just giving his opinion. This isn't his opinion, but this is someone who potentially will know more information than us normal people will know. And he's saying that I think the B sample verdict on Mudryk is already in. Some people already know about it. Right now, the verdict is being appealed, and no one will speak publicly about it until the full announcement. Only after all stages of the appeal process are complete, I imagine that B sample confirms sample A. That's my opinion. Right now, the lawyers have asked not to disclose anything until the disciplinary bodies, FIFA, CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sport, have made their decisions. We're waiting, but certain people already know the result. Okay, so maybe that is the case. But again, important to stipulate, guys, this is an opinion. This here is not fact. This is an opinion. But I do agree. I suspect somewhere within this legal process, within Mudryk's team, there are people who know the result of this B sample. There are definitely people who know the result of this B sample. A lie detector might help with the reputation, but it doesn't help in a legal process. Pogba's case was Pogba's case was different though, because it was cut and dry in terms of the fact he took one of his wife's diet pills, which contained something bad. So there was no denying that he'd done something. It was just about, him unknowingly doing it. He got 18 months for that because CAS reduced the ban from 4 years due to him not knowing. And I suspect the best case scenario we'll get from Mudryk is an 18-month ban, and that could well be backdated to when he was provisionally suspended. So let's imagine in the best case scenario, he gets banned for 18 months. He's already been missing for 5 months. That would be 13 months. He'd be ready to play again, potentially not for the 25-26 season, but for 26-27. That's what we'd be looking at. That's what we'd be looking at. But again, look, this is all obviously a long way down the line. I don't know how long it took for Pogba, but I'm pretty sure the A and B samples were out pretty quickly, and there were a lot of updates on the Pogba situation. This one's very cloak and dagger, very much in the dark. Look, I'm not one for conspiracy theories or anything like that. If you start going down that rabbit hole, you can pull all sorts of theories out your arse, and that's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to do. But I mean, I don't know, guys. Am I losing the plot here? Am I going mad? Is there more to this than's being made out? Because I refuse to believe, particularly in the case of football, right? I get it with the pressures of athletics and things like swimming and sprinting and stuff, that quest and that drive for the gold medal. You'll do anything to get that extra 1%. But football's totally different in my view. Because whilst if you take banned substances knowingly, that you might improve your fitness and your recovery rate and whatnot, it's not making you a better player. It's not like, oh, take this and your touch is going to be amazing. Take this and you're going to have a powerful shot. Take this and your free kicks are going to improve. Like, it doesn't work like that. From a footballing perspective, you would purely be improving your engine, your fitness, your endurance, your ability to recover. Okay. And that's obviously going to help on a football pitch. I'm not denying that. But it's not like this is making you a better footballer as such. Now, look, in football, you have a team of people. You put your trust in people. You hope that you've chosen the right people to surround yourself with. And if he's been done by one of his people, then that's a massive betrayal in trust and a massive letdown. You put your trust in people, and if they let you down, what are you supposed to do about that? Yes, you could say, oh, is it a misjudgment in terms of someone's character? If you misjudged the people in terms of actually they're not who you thought they were. Because let's be honest, if you're going to take banned substances, you are going to be found out at some point. You will be found out. Is it really worth knowing you're going to be banned for 4 years, unless you can prove you did it unknowingly? Is it really worth taking a 4-year ban for no reason? For no reason at all? Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're saying here? Call me naive, but I just refuse to believe that a footballer would knowingly take something, knowing full well they will get found out, and knowing full well they will likely miss at an absolute minimum 18 months of playing. It doesn't make sense, guys. It simply does not make sense. But, and again, a lie detector, I get it. Lie detector is not the be all and end all in this situation. It's absolutely not, because lie detectors aren't 100% accurate. You can do certain things with a lie detector to manipulate results, and any good lawyers will say that against the lie detector test result in terms of if that gets presented in court. There's absolutely no denying that whatsoever. But let me have but guys, let me know your thought. Chat, let me know your thoughts. Do you think Mudryk is innocent? Yes or no? Do you think he's been stitched up? Let me know your thoughts. People, were 85 in the building, only 30 likes. Please smash that like button. Get the likes up to 50 as quickly as possible. Let's get this over. Let's get this over 50 likes. Let's get this on the road to 100 likes. And of course, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new round here. Let me quickly go through this article here. Mykhailo Mudryk has passed a polygraph as he bids to clear his name from a doping ban sustained on international duty for Ukraine last November. The winger is currently provisionally suspended by the FA after an A sample returned positive for meldonium. He denies knowingly taking a banned substance, but athletes are strictly liable for anything ingested unless they can prove sabotage or a flaw in testing protocol. Mudryk faces a ban of up to 4 years if found guilty. I've spoken to Mudryk many times since the doping issue arose. He doesn't understand how it could have happened. He has no clue, no idea at all. So his lawyers organised him to take a lie detector test, which he passed. It will form part of the evidence showing he didn't intentionally do anything wrong. Mudryk has been clear. It's not his fault that he tested positive. We now need to find out how this has happened and who did this. His lawyers are trying to find out. There are still no results from the B sample, so that remains open. Nobody knows what's happened. I wish Mudryk all the best. He's a top professional and a very good person. He should be protected. Shakhtar also has a vested interest. There are bonuses from his move to Chelsea linked to his performances. If he's not playing, it causes problems for us because we could miss out on up to 30 million euros. So Shakhtar, Chelsea and Mudryk, we are in one boat. We all support Mudryk and hope he is allowed to continue playing football soon. And there we go. I mean, I don't know how easy or how difficult is it to prove sabotage in this instance? Because I don't know how you'd prove that. That's the problem. Like, it's all very well having this opinion and saying, and that's great, and I've got no issue with it as well. I've got no issue with that. But the reality is, you, with this situation, you have to prove that you are innocent. Rather than innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent in terms of this scenario here. And this is the point, bro. This is the point, you know. Unless you've got CCTV evidence, or you get a confession, but even then confessions is very grey area as well. How do you get the confession out of someone? Is it coerced? Are you leading someone down a line and you know, with a certain style of question that gets them to confess, and that's not a valid confession? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely have no idea how you go about proving sabotage or how you go about proving wrongdoing in a situation like this. I mean, look, lawyers are paid way more money than I am, and they will obviously be onto something and understand the situation at play. But again, lie detector is, look, it's reliable to a certain extent, but you know, you can't use it as the be all and end all. You know, then what, up to 93% accurate, isn't it? Was it? I mean, this has literally come out today. So yeah, well, the lie detector test could have been months ago, but it's been brought to light today. I agree. I'm struggling to think of any ways that you can prove this. I am struggling to find any ways that you could potentially prove this. Bro, that's nonsense. You can literally Google right now, how accurate are lie detectors? And it will tell you. How accurate are lie detector tests? 98% accuracy, up to 98%. They can, of course, produce false negatives and are not 100% accurate. above 90% accuracy. So this idea that they're not accurate at all is nonsense. At the end of the day, right, no one's saying that a lie detector is 100% accurate. You know, that's the situation that we're in. But yeah, look, I hear you. I mean, look, I don't think it's not to do with Chelsea. This would have been part of his defence team, the lawyers and stuff using this to form part of the evidence. But I mean, the whole thing's mad. At the end of the day, I'll hold my hands up if he's proven guilty and he done it on purpose, and all this was, you know, to try and play innocent. I'll hold my hands up. I was wrong. Apologise. We move on. I just feel that something's not quite making sense here. Something's not quite adding up. And look, we'll get to the bottom of it eventually. But yeah, I know people might think this is crazy and this is a ridiculous opinion and whatnot. I genuinely think there is some sort of sabotage or foul play going on here. Yeah, look, no, bro, no one's saying that lie detectors are 100% accurate. That's not all we're saying here. But to say that it doesn't mean anything is also untrue as well. And of course, there are techniques you can use to deceive lie detector tests and are not 100% accurate. We know all this. We know all this. We don't need to go through it. But obviously, his lawyers and his legal team think that him passing a polygraph, lie detector, whatever you want to refer to it as, can form part of the evidence to support him. Then cool, no problem. I'm not going to pretend and sit here that I'm a legal expert and I know about all this shit, because I don't. Bro, we don't know if he's innocent or not. That's what we're waiting to find out. I believe he is, as do Chelsea, as do his legal team, as do many people connected with him. And of course, the club are going to back their player. Of course they are. But it certainly, I don't know. It's baffling. It's really strange. It's really strange because normally with these doping cases, they're not common in football. You had Paul Pogba, you had Andre Onana. One of those was taking one of his wife's diet pills. The other one, I think Onana took a pregnancy pill or a birth control pill or something, which was slightly weird. But those were both obviously banned. I think 18 months for Pogba. I don't know how long it was for Onana. I mean, look, I hope that he's got very good lawyers. And look, I do believe in full stop. I do believe in full stop. And look, a very good lawyer will argue against the lie detector thing because you can do certain techniques to manipulate the results. Okay. So you're obviously going to need way more than that. You're going to need way more. But for me, there's something that's not making sense. And I can't put my finger on it. I can't put my finger on it. But Mudryk will play football again. Of course he will. Of course he will. Like that's not being that's we know he'll play again. But yeah, we're going to get onto that in a sec, Mazza. Let's just face it, Mudryk is cooked. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this happened on international duty. You know, Mudryk passed a test in August. There wasn't one in September for whatever reason, and then obviously this one in October, November time. There was an adverse finding. But we'll see. But this is the most news we've had on the Mudryk situation, really, since it originally broke. And look, maybe Chelsea know the results already, and maybe they're just waiting for the legal process to play out before they say anything themselves. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I do believe Mudryk's innocent. And we'll go from there and we see what happens. But if he's proven innocent, I'll be waiting for my apologies from a lot of people. I'll be waiting for my apologies, and we could be on board for an all-time remontada. We could be on board for a remontada of the ages for Mudryk. We could be on board. And we will be freeing Misha. Free Mudryk. But let's see what happens, guys. Now, look, it can be admissible. I mean, in criminal law, maybe it's different. But yeah, look, lie detector can form part of your evidence, but yeah, you can't rely on a lie detector is not going to prove whether you're innocent or guilty in terms of, oh, that's fine, he's passed a lie detector, therefore we're all good with that. No problem whatsoever. No, it doesn't work like that. But anyway, that's enough about Mykhailo Mudryk. We're going to talk about goalkeepers and Chelsea, because there is talk from L'Équipe in France. Publicly, George Petrovic is not ruled out remaining at Strasbourg, especially in the event of Champions League football. However, should he return to Chelsea as is expected, Philip Jorgensen may make a loan move to Strasbourg. Alternatively, it could be Mike Penders. Now, Chelsea are interested in 17-year-old Franco Mastantuono, who was released clause of 38 mil. That's LB's baller. Yeah, LB does like a few of the younger South American players. But yeah, we will wait and see, guys. We will wait and see. We're going to get onto that news as well. People, keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do so. Make sure you do it, guys. It's free. And yeah, please run those likes up. We're 87 in the building. There's only 46 likes, guys. That's poor. We're better than that. We are better than that. So run those likes up, people. Run them up. Run them up. Run them up. No, I think the reason Jeremy Carl got cancelled because there was poor aftercare on the show, and it just became a bit of a laughing stock. Now, I don't think Jeremy Carl was cancelled because of the accuracy of lie detectors. But yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. But anyway, this goalkeeping situation is interesting because we've seen the value of Petrovic going on loan to Strasbourg, playing week in, week out. He has proven himself in a top 5 league. He's established himself in a top 5 league. And the loan spell has been really, really good for him. Maybe, look, Mudryk coming back is still a possibility. Still a possibility. It's by no means a definite, but it is still a possibility. It can't be fully ruled out. Mudryk could certainly still play for Chelsea again. That is true, and that is correct. I mean, this. Oh. I've enjoyed that one. That was good. But yeah. Anyway, we've seen the benefit of what it's been like for Petrovic to go there. Jorgensen going there, I think, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And we could perhaps have a similar impact, guys. we could perhaps have a similar impact with Jorgensen. I think with Penders, the Strasbourg loan would be great for Penders, but maybe he goes on loan somewhere else for a year, then has the Strasbourg loan after Jorgensen, and then comes to Chelsea. Maybe that would be better. Jorgensen, remember, is still 19, 20 years old. You know, very, very young for a goalkeeper. You know, when we signed Thibaut Courtois, he spent 3 years on loan before coming through. So, you know, there's no rush with Penders. But the only issue is, though, if you do loan Jorgensen to Strasbourg next season, you'll have Petrovic and Sanchez. Sanchez, under no circumstances, can be at Chelsea Football Club next season. Under no circumstances. So, for me, you go Petrovic, Jorgensen, Penders to Strasbourg. That's what should be. That for me is how I would look at it. What I think should be the scenario. But again, it's very tricky. It is very tricky to know which one to get right. It's very tricky, guys. Well, keep Penders at Genk for another season. Yeah, maybe he does one more season at Genk. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Jorgensen's obviously a little bit older than Penders. I mean, this is all. I mean, look, Penders, we don't want to rush him through. We don't want to fast track him. We want to give him the time that he needs. Because Penders has literally only become the number one at Genk this season. Partway through the season, he became the number one. So it's not like he's got bags of experience. It's not like he's got bags of experience at all. But under no circumstances can we be in a situation where Robert Sanchez is here. But let me just get into this article. Let's see what it's saying. Petrovic, after a difficult and brief spell as Chelsea's number one last season, has got his career back on track at Strasbourg. The Serbian has played a starring role in leading a charge for the European places, which could yet lead to Champions League qualification. Publicly, Petrovic is not ruled out remaining at Strasbourg, especially in the event of qualification for the Champions League. However, should he return to Chelsea as is expected, there could be further movement between Strasbourg and Chelsea. Jorgensen, who has failed to displace Robert Sanchez at Stamford Bridge, may make a loan move to the Liga club. L'Equipe understands. Alternatively, it could be 19-year-old Mike Penders who makes the move in the event of Petrovic's probable departure. Any move would, however, be complicated should both clubs qualify for the same European competition, with trading between the clubs prohibited by UEFA regulations. So there is your answer. If Chelsea and Strasbourg are both in the same European competition next season, there will be no loan moves for any Chelsea players to Strasbourg. Now, any pre-arranged deals will be allowed to go ahead. So Mamadou Sarr would obviously still be able to join Chelsea with that deal having been agreed in January. That won't be an issue. But if both teams qualify for the same European competition, which is very possible, by the way, guys, very, very possible that both teams could still qualify for the same European competition, there'll be no loan moves, which means there'll be no Kendry Paez going to Strasbourg either. Yeah, guys, run these likes up. Come on, people. 54 likes, 115 in the building. Let's get these likes up. And please hit the subscribe button as well. They're both free. And it does really, really help me out more than you would imagine, guys. More than you would imagine. It's really, really helpful, people. So please do that. Look, Jorgensen's much better than Sanchez. But again, Jorgensen's still a very young goalkeeper. Yeah, it probably would be. But again, Jorgensen, it would work well for Jorgensen as well. We have to be honest here. It would work well for Jorgensen. Yeah, no, we can still play. I'm pretty sure we can still play in the same competition. You just obviously can't. There'll be no transactions between the clubs. No, there's no loan moves. If you're in the same UEFA competition, there'll be no loan moves between the two clubs. We saw it with Man United and Nice the other year. Yeah, Maresca is suspended for that Everton game. Bro, Jorgensen's better than Sanchez. Sanchez is an absolute liability. Absolute liability. There's no escaping that. I mean, I don't quite know what we're doing here. There's no escaping that at all. I mean, no, I think Paez to Strasbourg would be great. But if we both end up in the same competition, then obviously, of course, we're not going to struggle to find a loan for Paez. But obviously, the Strasbourg loan would be ideal for Paez. And to not have that option available, to not be able to send 3 players to Strasbourg would be a problem, because then you have to go and find an alternative loan for Matisse Mugu, who we signed from St. Etienne. You know, it just makes life that little bit harder for us. And you've got to put a bit more thought into it as well. So, yeah. Not an ideal situation. Not an ideal situation. Well, look, they can both be loaned. I don't know what you mean. Like, if 2 clubs are owned by the same ownership, then if you're in the same European competition under UEFA rules, you can do no business together. You know, if you're not owned by the same consortium, then it's just normal. So it wouldn't even be a conversation. Well, look, I think there's some potential from Jorgensen. Look, he's shown that, you know, obviously he's got mistakes in him and stuff, and he's not amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's not amazing. There's no denying that. No denying that at all. We do need more. We do need more. But that's the latest in a goalkeeping situation, and I wouldn't be against a Jorgensen loan. But ultimately, what makes more sense is Petrovic and Jorgensen competing for the number 1 spot next season. So Petrovic 1, Jorgensen 2, Penders to Strasbourg, Sanchez anywhere. I don't care where this guy goes, anywhere other than Chelsea. That is fine by me. Fine by me, just anywhere. Anywhere but Chelsea. And that's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. But someone mentioned it in the chat earlier, and this won't come as a great surprise, guys. This won't come as a great surprise at all. Because Chelsea, wait for it, guys, little drum roll, are interested in another teenager. Unbelievable. Chelsea interested in a teenager. No, Caicedo's not suspended. The threshold for 10 bookings and a 2-match ban has now passed. The yellow cards have resetted. So no. But Chelsea are interested in another teenager. 38 million as well, by the way. 38 million is mental. Franco Mastantuono. Man United and Chelsea interested in River Plate's teenage sensation. River Plate teenager Franco Mastantuono, that's probably butchered big time, is attracting interest from top clubs around Europe, including Man United and Chelsea. The 17-year-old attacking midfielder. Exactly what we need. Exactly what we need, guys. Considered among the most promising talents in Argentina, and is being followed by a host of Premier League clubs. Barcelona are also admirers of Mastantuono, while Atletico Madrid have already travelled to Buenos Aires to watch him live. Mastantuono, who turns 18 in August, has a release clause of 45 million euros, the highest ever in the Argentinian club's history. And his contract runs until 2026. So he's out of contract. He's got 12 months left on his contract. River Plate president Jorge Brito is under no pressure to sell after overseeing a 46 million profit for the club last season. Mastantuono is just the latest top talent to emerge from River Plate's famed academy after Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez. City have signed Claudio Echeverri from River following the success story on Alvarez, and the 19-year-old is now training with Pep Guardiola's squad, having been sent back on loan immediately after the deal was sealed. Mastantuono became the club's youngest goalscorer at just 16 years old, is set to play a key role for River Plate at this summer's Club World Cup. He is also set to star this Sunday when River host Boca Juniors. He's no stranger to these big occasions, having already forged a pivotal role in River's first team since making his debut at the end of January last year to become the club's third youngest player. The left-footed midfielder has 3 goals and 2 assists from 11 appearances. We need to relax. We need to relax. I'll be honest, I've not heard of this guy before. And I'm not going to pretend that I have. But guys, £38 million. We need to lay off the sauce. Lay off the sauce. We're not going to sell Paez. We've only just bought Paez. Yeah, we need to lay off the sauce big time. This Lampard stuff has been taken so out of context. Every game, there's Frank Lampard chants. Not because Chelsea fans want him as a manager, because he's a club legend. There was chart there that we were chanting the Willian song on Sunday at Fulham. Does that mean that Chelsea want Willian to come back? We're singing the Thiago Silva song. We're singing the Kalou song. Does that mean that we want all these players to come back? Like, people have got the context of this Lampard thing all wrong. It's nothing to do with Lampard coming back as manager. It's just the Lampard song. We sing it at all the games. Frankie Lampard, Frankie Lampard, and Super Frank. That's the songs, and we sing them at the game. That doesn't mean that Chelsea fans want Frank Lampard back as manager. And Dennis Wise as well. You know, this idea that people just completely miss the context of that situation. But anyway, look, this guy could be a great talent, sure, but we don't need another one. We don't need another 17-year-old, like 38. Look, if it was like 10 million quid or something, maybe I'd turn a bit of a blind eye to it. 38 M's is mental. 38 million. Guys, come on. What is going on here? 38 M's is absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. There's literally no point. Yeah, the Super Frank song's decent. No, the celery song is still there. The celery song is still there. It doesn't come out every game, but yeah, the celery song is still there and still going strong, guys. Still going strong. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, look, this doesn't make any sense to me. But then very few things Chelsea are doing at the moment does make sense. But signing a 17-year-old attacking midfielder for 38 million, yeah, I would lose my shit, to be honest. I really would. I really would lose my shit because it's just absolutely pointless. Absolutely pointless. Makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, it's called celery. It's not salary. I mean, the Tyreek George one right now is class. The Loftus-Cheek one was really good. There's loads. No, I won't be going to Sweden. No, I won't be going to Sweden. Unfortunately not. But I'll be at the second leg at home, but I won't be at the away leg. Unfortunately. I won't be there. Yeah, there was Gallagher shot. That's obviously stopped now. Because he's not here anymore. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this deal we should be walking away like Craig David. Because yeah, this deal is not the one, guys. Not the one. People, we're nearly at 100 likes. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Nina was a bit ill, and yeah, but that's why. So yeah, just me and Alex. But yeah, it should be back to normal on Sunday. Yes, big up, bro. Yeah, no, fair enough, brother, fair enough. What was I about? I was about to do something. What was I about to do, guys? I mean, no, it's not pneumonia, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if pneumonia is going around or not. Obviously, Eddie Howe has got it. No, it's quite a serious thing as well, by the way. But yeah, anyway, let's do a little bit more transfers because we love the transfers, guys. We love the transfers. We live for the transfers. And let me just quickly bring this up. Where is it? Oh, looking in the wrong fucking place. There's a quick update on Liam Delap and an update on Dean Huijsen as well, because that's what we love. So, Fabrizio Romano in his Give Me Sport newsletter. The idea is Chelsea or Manchester United, but both clubs are waiting on what type of European football they will have. So, yeah, that's what we're waiting on. The type of European football we are going to have. Now, let me just bring this article up because there's more about it on Dean Huijsen as well. But guys, what are your thoughts on Delap? Chat, let me know. Chat, what we're saying about Liam Delap. Because it looks like to me, at least with the information that's out there, is that Liam Delap seems to be, at least from what I'm gathering, Liam Delap seems to be the favourite. Seems to be the favourite for Chelsea. Now, I don't really have an issue with Liam Delap because I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good player. But at the same time, it's a bit of a problem because Liam Delap on his own is not enough. That just isn't enough for Chelsea, given the form of Nicholas Jackson. You know, we just don't have enough. Let me quickly share this. again because I just accidentally deleted it. Look, Man United could scumbag Europa League football, Champions League football, sorry. They could absolutely scumbag Champions League football. And that would be absolutely criminal. If Delap chooses United over Chelsea because they win the Europa League and we miss out on Champions League football and United get in that way, I'm not saying it's going to be a crying shame because we didn't get Liam Delap, but when we've made it so obviously clear that Delap is basically a top target, seemingly the number one target, this is a major issue, a major issue, a major issue. So yeah, I'd be very disappointed. I rate Delap. I like him. He's got 12 goals this season. In a struggling Ipswich team, put him in a better team. I think he'd do better. However, there's also the trail of thought that a lot of Delap's moments have come on the counter and transitions because teams go out and attack against Ipswich. Against Chelsea, he'll come up against a lot more low blocks, and that's going to be much harder. That's going to be much harder. Will he still get the same opportunities and whatnot? I don't really know. So these are things that we need to think about. But for £30 million and the wages and the profile and what he brings, that is a very good deal. But that can't be the only deal. That under no circumstances can be the only deal. There needs to be more deals than that. There needs to be more deals. Guys, keep smashing the like button. 80 likes. Let's get this to 100 likes, people. Would really, really appreciate it. So make sure you do it. Make sure you do it. Make sure you do it, guys. Run it up, run it up, run it up. But Delap can be good for Chelsea, no doubt about it. But we need a Delap and someone else. I've always maintained we need 3 centre forwards. 3 centre forwards are required. Will we get 3 centre forwards? 2 centre forwards this summer. I don't think we do. I think we get 1. But if you get Delap for £30 million, there's definitely room in the budget to spend more money on another one. There has to be. There simply has to be room in the budget to spend more on another one. But I don't know. Maybe you could see a situation where we go Liam Delap and then we sign Jonathan David on a free. Maybe it's that. But David's not really being linked with Chelsea. You're hearing names like Hugo Ekitike, which, again, good player, 22 years of age, has got 21 goals for Frankfurt this season. But this is the first season. This is like, I don't know what this is like. Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez will be, I'm not going to guarantee, but I think I could take a pretty good stab in the dark that Darwin Núñez will be playing in the Saudi Pro League next season. That's what I would say. Darwin Núñez will be playing Saudi Pro League next season, guys. But Chelsea have been linked with Núñez in the past. Chelsea have been linked with Darwin Núñez in the past. That's not a ridiculous thing to say. Far, far, far and away from a ridiculous thing to say. What else are we looking at here? But again, yeah, it needs to be. I do believe we'll get Delap. I do think he'll come to Chelsea. Osimhen, I think there's no chance, because why would you not pay the money for him last summer and then decide to pay the money for him this summer? It doesn't make sense. Gyökeres, we need Champions League football at a bare minimum. And even then, I think all the reports are saying that he prefers a move to an Arsenal or a Liverpool. So that in itself is then an issue as well. But we need Champions League football minimum to even get to the table with Gyökeres. Yeah, there are absolutely difficulties. We're going to have difficulties in attracting a top name striker. You know, Champions League football's a must. So let's wait and see. Sesko, yeah, Sesko's still a name that's on the list. I don't even know, to be honest. I wouldn't even mind just keeping Tyreek George in the squad next season. I mean, I don't know what the best solution would be. I don't know what the best solution would be. The winger market's not that great. We're looking at players like Jamie Gittins. I mean, if you're going to go and sign Gittins, I'd rather just keep Tyreek George. I'll be real. I'll be so real. I'd rather just keep Tyreek George. In all honesty, but do you know what? It is what it is. We need a bagsman. We need a top quality striker at the top end of the pitch. You know, it's that simple. It is that simple. We need a top quality striker at the top end of the pitch. Delap makes the squad better, does improve us, but it kind of takes us from here to here. We need to go from here to here, and that's difficult. Kane's not going to come to Chelsea. But yeah, you're looking at an Osimhen, you're looking at a Gyökeres. Those are the two top strikers available on the market. And then from there, you know, there's much of a likeness. Ollie Watkins, look, Watkins, Arsenal want Watkins. I don't know if they still want him now. Sesko is another name we're linked with. Look, it's going to be one of Sesko, Delap, or Ekitike, I'd imagine. One of Sesko, Delap, or Ekitike. Vlahovic, no, the wages are too much. And I actually don't really think, I have to be honest, I don't think Vlahovic is that great. Absolutely no to Greenwood. We don't want people like Greenwood associated with the club. So no, absolutely not. But just in general, I don't know. I'd say a draw, personally. A draw. Yeah, I'd be happy with a draw. Both teams dropping points would be ideal, but I guess you know, yeah, both teams dropping points would be ideal. But for me personally, a draw or a Villa win. We don't want a City win, but a draw or a Villa win is would be fine. No issues. No issues whatsoever. No issues whatsoever. No issues whatsoever. So yeah, I haven't got a problem with that, guys. Haven't got a problem with that at all. But yeah, there we are. But we're not going to get Jeremy Doku from Man United. Why are people saying we're going to get Doku from United? That isn't happening. That isn't happening at all, guys. We know this is not happening. Yeah, of course. But we all knew that anyway. We all knew that. No, because look, at the end of the day, we're 1 point behind City and we're level on points with Villa. You know, a draw is the best result. A draw or a Villa win for me. Because then it keeps things close. And it keeps things close. And that's kind of what we want. We don't really want anyone getting too far ahead. Yeah, sure. But winning at Forest, that's there's no guarantee to that at all. So yeah, you know, that's going to be tricky for us. That's going to be tricky for us. But yeah, guys, I'm going to round this one out here. I've got to jump over onto Football Heritage TV with Sava. Let me see if I can work this redirect, and I will redirect you guys over there. If not, I will drop the link in the chat. I mean, I haven't got time to work out this redirect thing, But I'll drop the link in the chat, people, and come over and say hi. That would be good. Come over and say hi. Just put Blue Brother Raid in the chat, guys. Let me just quickly find this now. And this today? Yeah. Yeah, guys, I can't work out the redirects right now, but that's the link in the chat there. Come on over. Just say Blue Brother Raid in the chat. Big up to everyone. Great show today, guys. Appreciate all of you. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe if you're new. 86 likes. Get this to 100 likes on the way out. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you over at Football Heritage TV. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.